October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That's why when you turn on an NFL game on Sunday or Monday or even one of those cute little exhibitions on Thursday, you see flashes of pink all over the field. October is also Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and, well, I guess the NFL is doing its part there, too.
The New York Giants are playing the Rams in London today without Josh Brown. The kicker was suspended for week 1 of this season after a domestic violence incident in May of 2015. Then earlier this week, new police documents surfaced in which Brown admitted to mentally and physically abusing his now ex-wife.
Now, those documents became available when King County prosecutors decided not to charge Brown in the case. However, the NFL placed Brown on the commissioner's exempt list.
The Giants announced the news that they had released Josh Brown, parted ways with a player that many thought that they never should have given a second chance to.
Yep, we are here again, back in this old familiar poop tornado. Although I will say it was pretty refreshing that this time we had a coach talking tough about his player and taking a stance. Yeah, Giants head coach Ben McAdoo said, quote, "He needs to control his emotions better and become less of a distraction to himself and to his teammates." Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. That was about the man who abused a kicker's net. That was about Odell. This is what he had to say about the man who abused a kicker's wife.
You know, we're not going to turn our back on Josh. He's a teammate, and you know, he's a guy that we're hoping makes strides.
Yeah, the kicker. The kicker? Seriously? Coaches usually can't wait to sell those guys out. Now he's a teammate? Man, I did not see that coming. I thought this was going to be an easy one. This must be how Pete Carroll felt on Sunday night. Yeah, I'm shocked too. But no, a whole lot of the same here, folks. You know how it goes. Domestic violence incident, short suspension, outrage, new evidence comes out, more outrage, commissioner's exempt list, question mark, cut from the team, rinse, repeat. Football fans and fans of, you know, basic human decency are understandably frustrated, but no one is more frustrated than Roger Goodell. Because I know it seems to us like the league uses a vaguely worded draconian personal conduct policy to hand out arbitrary punishments whenever the mood strikes, but as Roger told the BBC this week, that's just because we're too dumb to get it. Quote, "I understand the public's misunderstanding of those things and how that can be difficult for them to understand how we get to those positions." Okay, so Roger thinks we're stupid. I can live with that because I'm rubber and he's glue, so whatever. But the truth is, our outrage gets done. In 2014, during the whole Ray Rice debacle, our collective displeasure earned us a shiny new domestic violence policy. Yeah. Sure, it ended up being the fine china of policies in that, yes, we have it, but we only use it on very special occasions. And, you know, come to think of it, I'm not even sure what those are, because there have been like 4 weddings, and I still haven't seen it used, like, once. But still, we did that. Good for us, right? And when the league drops the ball in a really big way, like with Ray Rice, Greg Hardy, and Josh Brown, our outrage has ultimately led to those players being removed from the league. So good for us, right? Yeah. Actually, no. Calling for a guy to be kicked out of the league isn't as admirable of a stance as we think it is. I know that it comes from a good place, but removing the problem from our line of sight only makes us feel better, and we aren't the victims here. Domestic violence is a complex issue, and it's not fun or easy to talk about, and so we really don't ever talk about it. We're comfortable saying it's bad and throwing around the words zero tolerance, and then we kick and scream until the bad guy gets punished, because that's how it works with other crimes. But in domestic violence cases, zero tolerance policies have been found to be not just ineffective, but in some cases harmful, because they take this already daunting list of reasons a victim is afraid to come forward and add to that the possibility that doing so will cost their partner their job. The concept of zero tolerance is very similar to mandatory arrest laws, which were intended to protect victims of domestic violence. But, as Dr. Radha Iyengar wrote in the New York Times in 2007, because of psychological, emotional, and financial ties that often keep victims loyal to their abusers, the cost of arrest, or in this case, a suspension or being fired, is easily transferred from abusers to victims. Victims want protection, but they do not always want to see their partners put behind bars or lose their jobs. It's a really tough thing to grasp. It's very complicated, and I'm not asking us all to be domestic violence experts. I know that this isn't fun, what we're doing right now, and I too want to get to the fun stuff. It just sort of clicked for me this time around that we are all really under-equipped to have these conversations that we're having, and yet we keep trying to have them. I was kidding before when I said our outrage gets results from the league, but there is some truth to that. So what if this time, instead of punishments and bans and the commissioner's naughty list or whatever, what if we demanded that the league get serious about counseling and support services for players and their families? And I mean serious, not just hiding behind he's getting help and then just never following up. If you can suspend or cut these guys at the drop of a stupid Cam Newton hat, why can't you make their employment contingent upon their participation in counseling programs? And the right counseling programs. That's important. According to those court documents released by the King County Sheriff's Department, Josh Brown is undergoing anger management counseling, which is actually not recommended for domestic abusers. Think of it like if someone told you you had to take a science class and you enrolled in poli-sci. Like it's close, I guess, but it's not that close. The league has the resources to establish an external referral network for all 32 teams and to employ a person or two, or I don't know, this isn't really my job, however many people it takes to then oversee the damn thing. I don't know all the answers here. I don't. And unlike the NFL, I am willing to admit that. I just think that it's important that we start this conversation, and this is the conversation we should be having. Because I know I'm offended by what Josh Brown did. I think we all are. But he didn't do it to us. And we got to start focusing on what actually matters, you know? What do you think of that, Pete Carroll? Yeah, I knew it. I had a feeling I knew you would agree.